This morning? Are you driving to work? Are you driving, doing the school run? Or are the schools on holiday? I don't even know that. Somebody better ring me and tell me and share that information with me, what the holidays are for schools. You kind of lose a touch, in Ramadan with everything because your routine is changed. Your whole pattern, waking up is changed as well. I gather most of you are still asleep. So if you're still asleep, you've got the radio on, then listen in. And even call in on 0116 or you may text on 07748 855 You're listening to Z on the Morning Rise and Shine program this morning. You are listening to me on 87.7 FM. So how are you all doing? How is Ramadan? It is day 6 or is it day 7? That's a question, a big question for all of you. So day 6 or day 7? Let us know. Some people started early, some people started a day later. So for some it'll be day 6, for some it'll be day 7. So how is your Ramadan progressing? How are you doing? How are you coping? And now you know that your body is detoxifying slowly but gradually. So here somebody's asleep and holidays can't wait, they said. When is the holidays? Let me know. When is the holidays start and when do they finish? And somebody is asleep, half asleep, still don't know what's happening this morning in the month of Ramadan. So almost 1 week is gone. Of course, this year we requested all of you to contact us and to tell us how you want this programming to be, how we would entertain all your requests and what you'd like to hear, what you'd like to share with the community. And we have been talking to all of you to start engaging with all your councillors in your area and also your MP, and let them know you are here, you are listening, you're paying attention, and you're not asleep. Because if you then later on complain and you sit back and do nothing because you said nothing, then you are the one to blame. So please engage, start connecting with your counsellor. First of all, let me ask you, who is your local counsellor in your area where you live, in your postcode, in your house number, whether you're living in Evington or you're living wherever you are in England? Who is your counsellor? That's what I'd like you to go and check. And then that is where the journey starts. Then you find out what is his email contact. Then you can start contacting them. So yesterday we had the wonderful George Valentine. He joined us and it was quite interesting because we were trying to ask you how well you know your accents. Where was he from? And finally somebody got it right, and that was quite good. And the best comment yesterday was, well, his accent is not as strong as some of my Pakistani cousins who speak Glaswegian. And that was interesting. So Easter holidays will start from Monday. Buongiorno, signor. Monday, Easter holidays. So next Friday is going to be a Good Friday holiday. And then after that, Monday is the Easter Monday. So a lot going on during the holiday period. A lot of people are calling in and they're making plans. And on Saturdays and Sundays on Radio Ramadan, we have our resident charities who come and they start their appeals. And I want to particularly talk to all of these charities, discuss with them, where are you spending your well-donated money? Not well-earned, it could be well-earned, but well-donated is the key word here, right? So if you're going to call us on 0116 482 2086, and you can text us or WhatsApp us on 077 48 855 055. There's a question here that what do you require each year to do the Radio Ramadan? Good question. You require human resource. You require young people to come on board and to learn advertising, to learn graphic design, to learn media, to learn some journalistic skills, to learn to be a presenter, to learn how to do research, to make up a program. A lot of wonderful things for your young children to learn and to start on the journey of media. If you have any children out there, you have any young people who want to aspire to go forward in the world of journalism, then this is where you come. You come to Radio Ramadan, and we give you some support, we give you some training. Of course, nothing is free. You had to do something. So you get given tasks and you go ahead and do them. And that is very interesting for everybody, right? If you can get your children involved, that is good. So I'm going to ask all of you to get your children involved in charitable activities, get involved in any community project that will benefit the community and take us all forward. So if we don't get young people, when I say young people, I'm like telling you as young as you want them to be. Of course, if they are under 16, they have to be under the guidance of the parents. But if they're over 16, then they can come here to the studio and they can join us, and we can start developing them, helping them to their journey going forward. Of course, a lot we've been talking about the Talent Foundation. This is a group that has been set up countrywide. What they're aiming to do is connect young people with a mentor or somebody like we call them a guru as well here, somebody who will support them, guide them, and send them forward in their career path. Your life is a long journey. You're on a train, and on that train, you want to meet the best people who can help you, guide you, move you forward, and take you up the rung of the ladder, right? So all the parents who aspire to want their children to progress, you'll have some super bright children at home who are 7, 8 years old, and you have already ascertained that my kids are talented, and you strive. You want them to go to university, you want them to get the best grades, you want them to pass their GCSEs, you want them to pass their A-levels. And if they need some support, some guidance, and they have somebody mentoring them, then that is the way forward. So I was also asked and requested if I can support, the radio can support, all the charities out there can support this initiative to create an app that will deliver this initiative. Then this is what working together as a community is all about. Community development is not the task of one person. It is to do with partnerships, partnership with your council, partnership with your government, with your MP, partnership with other faith communities. There are many, many diversities in the city. Now, we've been talking about this earlier on in the week, that do we coexist? Yes, we do. We coexist with other diversities, but do we actually integrate, or are we in reality segregated? That is what I need you to look in the mirror this morning and ask yourself, am I coexisting? And you got a smile on your face and you're saying, yes, I am coexisting. Next question you got to ask is, am I integrated with the 100 diversities in my city? Do I even know how many diversities there are in my city? Do you know? Come on then, put your right hand up if you know and talk to me. How many diversities are there in this city? Everybody who comes on this chair opposite me is going to get asked that question, and I want to see who gets it right. Well, yesterday, George was asking the question, how many mosques are there in Leicester? And I must admit, even I was astonished when I was looking at a figure of about 75 or 76, and George said, well, actually, even the prayer area at the city retreat and McIndians is classed as a mosque. So it's a prayer area. At McIndians, on top of McIndians, if you remember in town, you could go there and you could read your salah upstairs. Now, even that was classed as a prayer area. So, of course, it was 106 in the city of Leicester. Now, when you compare that with the city of Liverpool, where you have more people living there, almost twice as many people as the city of Leicester, then the number there of mosques is not as high. Now, why is that? I'll give you the answer for that. That is purely related to the demographic over there as to how many Muslims are living there and how many Muslims are living in Leicester. So here's a question for you. If you're listening in right now, I know that most of you just go hit the Google on your mobile phone and then you start answering the questions. Well, see if you can do that without doing the Google, and tell me what is the population of the Muslims in the city of Leicester? And let me know. And even as you know, the census results are going to be coming out soon. What is the population in Leicester, and how many of that is from the ethnic community? So your answer, I'm going to take a note of it, and then I shall do the comparison when we actually start receiving the census results. Now, some of you out there, we're interactive on this program. Talk to me and tell me, when is the census results coming out? So do the research. Let me know. So that is what partnership is all about. Don't leave me to do all the work. Do some of the work yourselves and communicate with me. Let me know. Now, I got a message here that how do I connect my children with the radio, and I want my children to learn about journalism. Of course, this is only a stepping stone. So you do connect with us here at the radio, and I will then talk to you or one of the chaps here who are every day working hard, tirelessly, and I will connect with them, I will talk to them, and we shall then try to find direction for them. Look, what we do is, the first question we ask is, what do you actually want to do? Do you want to do presenting? Do you want to become a presenter? Do you want to become a reporter? Do you want to do the technical side? And we can then send you in the right direction. Do you want to be a graphic designer? So once you have established and asked the stream of questions to the young applicant, who is a boy or a girl, matters not, then we can proceed further. So if you want to learn the technical side of it, then we will send you in that direction. So we have quite a few people here who are happy to lend a hand and support your children to take them forward. Now, we have a huge drive here to go find all these youngsters, and I want to connect them all. I want them all to step forward, because do not leave the established people in the community who have done this. It kind of becomes, we are creatures of habit. We do what we do because we are creatures of habit, and it's not going to develop the community unless we get the 20-year-olds coming forward, taking on a positive drive to develop the communities. Then we will do the same old, and more of that same old, and no change will happen. So change is only going to happen if you help, support, and drive the initiative. Is a message here about once upon a time 50 years ago. So put your right hand up if you have heard of that initiative called Once Upon a Time 50 years ago. So I'll put this test straight to our audience in our technical room over there. There are 2 people, but I see 4 this morning because I'm still getting over and getting my battery charged, right? So here, once upon a time 50 years ago, what do you know about it? See, I wait. If I have to wait more than 5 seconds for an answer, that means they don't have a clue. They don't know. And if you don't know, you're going to get left behind. Your KIP is going to suffer. The KIP is knowledge is power. Your knowledge is power is going to diminish, and you're not going to know nothing. So once upon a time, 50 years ago, is the initiative that radio is watching closely, supporting, and helping it drive forward. It's all about the Ugandan Asians who came in 1972 as refugees. And now, you know that the word refugee is prevalent in our society today. Now, why do we have this word refugee, or why do we even have refugees? So come on, engage with me and let's talk about that. Why do we have refugees coming to England or coming to another country from another country? Now, is this a global happening? Is it happening globally? Yes, it is. Refugees are leaving country A, moving to country B for obscene number of reasons across the globe today. Most of these reasons are connected with war, W-A-R, war. So that's it. Now, if you are one of those people who don't agree with refugees, then you know what the cure is. You got to stop the war. You got to stop the war, and you'll stop the refugees, and you'll stop a lot of other problems. So why do we encourage and why do we support wars across the globe? That is a question I'm asking all of you. So put your answer on the screen. Send us a text message on 077 488 and let me know what you are saying. What is your opinion? Because your opinion counts. Everybody's opinion counts. So let us have an answer. Or you can call us on 0116 482 2086. Often a telephone number, a WhatsApp or a text number is being displayed, or people are saying, I didn't hear that, 0116. Can you say that slowly? 482 2086. And that is our number. So save it on your phone, and you can write next to it Ramadan Radio 87.7 FM. And of course, if you save it on your first page of your iOS or your Android, and you can just click on it and you'll connect with us, and we'll be listening to each other. I listen to you and you listen to me, and we make a good program together. So once upon a time, 50 years ago, if you read in the local social media, there's a nice statue going up to commemorate, to remember, and also to celebrate the 50 years ago when the refugees from Uganda came to England. They were forced out, expelled. Basically, they were chucked out of Uganda and sent over to different countries all over the world. Now, what's happening is they came here with nothing, absolutely nothing, and I'm reflecting currently with the refugees that are being invited to England from Ukraine due to the war happening there. And I'm trying to draw comparisons. How was it then 50 years ago? How is it today? And I don't recall there was a £350 per room if you take one on into your house, because I don't think in 1972 anybody had seen £350 at all a month. I think the salaries back then in 72 were £5 a week, and there's a lot of contrast there, right? So if you compare with money, there's a huge difference. So 72, throughout the 70s, we had the coal mine strike, and we had wars happening across the globe then also, as we do now. So there has not been a decade in the last 50 years, the last 5 decades, when there was not a war going on. In fact, not one war, but 10 at a time, at any one time. So that's a little bit of more research for you to go and find out how many decades, in each decade, how many wars were going on in each decade. And this is what we say, that we must learn about these things to find out, well, what is the cure? Because ultimately, all of these mishappenings across the globe are now today affecting everybody in Leicester or London or Birmingham or wherever you live. Everybody's affected. How is affected? Because everything goes up. Your food prices go up, your utilities go up, and everybody suffers as a result. And attached to all of that is your social conditions change. Your poverty levels go up. Your crime goes up. And then along with that comes all the other things that are affected. So that is a program in itself. We shall arrange that and discuss that in more detail as to what we can all do, what we can do to take part in this. Now, shortly after, we're going to have a little break now, so don't go away. Come back straight away, and we shall meet our guests, our surprise guest we have today to join us, and I shall be with you shortly. Jazakallah khair.
Currency Act, which is even 100 odd years old, but it's
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, brothers and sisters. Now imagine coming into the studio and you're rushing, going through traffic, and you rush here to get here 3 seconds before you're ready to go on air, and you have to quickly prepare everything very fast. And your right eye is closed, your left eye is just about trying to open, and you have to produce a program or come and deliver. So that is the truth. That's what happens in Ramadan. Your whole timing, your clock is upside down, and you do your best. So, Jazakallah khair for listening in. We're here now with a wonderful guest here in the studio. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. He's not just mad, this particular guest is super mad. Of course, you all know what I'm talking about. Mad is not mad, but it is person who makes a difference. You could also be mad. I want you all to be mad. I want all of you who are listening in right now to make a difference. It is your society, it is your community, and it is your humanity. So a little bit of solidarity and a bit of unity will not go amiss. So let's all be mad. Good morning. Jazakallah khair for coming to the studio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brother.
Arif. Walaikum salam. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Arif Varaji, and I'm from an organization called Help the Homeless Leicester. Well, I say organization is actually a charity. Something that I started back in 2014 by taking clothing from the boot of my car and going onto the streets of Leicester. And, well, anybody who was sat on the streets, looked homeless. I say looked because we'll get into that further down the line, but anybody who needed some assistance with clothing, we started giving out clothing from the boot of the car, and then that then progressed to more donations coming in. The awareness grew, and then we started to progress from the boot of a car to the streets of Leicester. We're using suitcases, where we used to go from like the train station down to Clock Tower and then up the high street. And anybody we saw along the way, we'd basically assist them with clothing, cleaning products, hygiene kits, and then takeaways got involved and started to donate food, biryani, that kind of stuff. So we started to give out food as well. And then from there, we've then progressed onto the market every Wednesday evening.
I almost stop you there now, Arif. One thing we don't talk about in the morning is biryani, right? And now I'm going to ask you, is it chicken or meat or is it vegetable?
Oh, gosh.
Right?
I can't even remember now. It's a long time
Okay,
ago.
so we'll skip that and we'll move on.
Yeah, so that progressed to the market every Wednesday evening. And at our peak, I think we were serving up to 180 people a week. So not all homeless. Anybody who felt they needed to come for a meal, to eat there, hot, fresh food, and to take away for the next couple of days. We used to get quite a lot of support. So a local temple there used to do fresh rice and curry every week. That was a vegetarian option. The pub next to the market used to make us pasta. Nando's used to give us chicken. Greg's used to give us all their products as well. So it used to be a lot of good quality food that probably, in some instances, for example, with Nando's and Greg's, would probably be chucked away, in fairness. So we used to kind of rescue that food as well. So people would come, eat there. For a lot of people that maybe suffer with anxiety, meeting new faces and stuff, we became quite a regular, familiar face for them. So a lot of people would open up to us. A lot of the volunteers and stuff would become quite friendly with the people, and the information you'd extract from people, their situations and stuff, was a real eye opener. And a lot of people we found didn't know how to navigate the system, so they were in limbo. They didn't know, how to claim for certain benefits. They didn't know their entitlement for certain benefits, and due to that, a lot of people were struggling. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey, and that was kind of like our base where we started from. We still weren't a registered charity at that point. It was just a group of volunteers technically, and it used to cost roughly about £400-500 a year to keep all that running, which wasn't a big amount of money. And then the meals continued, and it got to, I think, winter of 2018, and it was snowing. And some of the core volunteers that were quite close to me, they said, look, why don't we start putting people into B&Bs, get them off the street, because obviously it's freezing cold. And what we did was, I put an appeal out on Facebook that we're going to start putting people into B&Bs, and within 2 days I had about £2,500 in my personal account. So I thought, right, we're going to have to register as a charity now. So we actually got our registration as a charity in March 2018. And the first person we put into accommodation into a hotel was, I think, January 2018. We kind of met him the next day and said, look, why are you in this situation? Why aren't you claiming for this benefit, that benefit? You're entitled to this, that kind of stuff. And again, a lot of people didn't have a clue how to navigate the system. So we assisted with that, got the guy into some accommodation in a room in a shared house, and kind of provided him a lot of support to make sure he didn't fail in that tenancy. And that's where we then progressed with the whole accommodation side of things, which is still running today. And since January 2018, we've accommodated over 200 people, of which 86% have renewed the tenancies past 6 months. So, and that is down to the intense support that we provide. And all the volunteers that we've had since 2017, now, alhamdulillah, 9 of us are employed by the charity, of which 8 have been with me since 2017. So what we used to do for free, in essence, as volunteers, we now get paid for. And that work is funded majority by Leicester City Council as well.
So you are acting on the front line for the government, aren't you, really?
Yeah, so we work together with the Leicester City Council. We never always used to see eye to eye in the early days, but the relationship with them is very good now. And the beauty of working with them is because we've got partnership agreements with them, we can get access to records for people. We just have to, for example, if someone reports as a homeless person on the street at this location, either ourselves or the council will go out there, try and find this person. And once we found the person, we could ring it into the council and say, look, we found this person, what's the situation, what shall we do? And then they either say, yeah, send them down to whatever location, Dawn Centre, for example, and we'll go from there and see what we can do. So there's a lot of benefits to obviously working with the authority.
So right now, the city of Leicester, a lot of people like myself are well aware of you as a person. The same people who are walking up and down like you were doing, and you are going ahead to go and do that work that you're doing. So today, I want to learn, what is the difference between you and me? I'm also walking down the same road, and many other people who are listening right now. Why don't we all jump to do that? Because we're not all cut out to do what you do, are we?
True. You know what it is? It's been a long journey, and on a selfish level, for me personally, on a personal level, so we're not an Islamic charity, but on a personal level, for me, I see this as my sadaqah jariyah.
Of course. Now, if let's all do a little test here. If Arif is walking down and he's felt the need in his heart to go and give some clothes to somebody homeless, right? Now, if in the same hour, 99 people do the same to that one homeless person, how does that work?
It doesn't work. So there's a big difference between somebody who's homeless which is someone obviously who hasn't got a home. So that could be somebody living on somebody's sofa, somebody being accommodated by the council in temporary accommodation in a hotel, for example, or a hostel. So that's somebody who hasn't got a home. Now that's homelessness. But then you've got street homelessness, which is the people you see sleeping on the street, obviously. Then you've got the issue of beggars, and that's unfortunate.
So we're going to come to that in our next section of program,
sure.
yeah, because this topic of homelessness is a huge topic when you look at it locally, when you look at it nationally, and when you look at it globally. You go to the third world, half the country is homeless practically. Their living conditions are aligned to the homeless in England, and they live like that. It's a way of life. So here in the West, it's not a way of life, is it, to be homeless?
Well, it's not, definitely.
Definitely
especially
not.
in these temperatures.
Yeah. Then here we have the dynamics of 100 plus diversities in Leicester, Arif. What do you reckon? 100? Do you think so?
I'd probably say maybe less, but I don't know.
So
Ballpark figure, 100?
yeah.
70,
So I was told on Monday that there's 70 languages spoken in Leicester. And we equated that to about 100 different diverse people here in the city. Even when you start counting, after 5 you lost count, start counting right now on your right hand how many diversities you know about. Let's do this exercise together.
What we're talking, languages?
Yeah, and I'm not going to ask you to go in an alphabetical order. If you just run through it, right? In different, not languages, but different people from different parts of the world in the city of Leicester, right?
Probably hit about 10, I think.
Did you count me as well?
What are you?
I would. Where would you put me? As are we saying countries, or are we saying just what are we saying? Asian.
Asian.
Then we're going to break down the ethnicity of an Asian. Is an Asian a Bengali? Is he a Pakistani? Is he an Indian? Is he a Sri Lankan? It goes on and on, doesn't it? Now that is where we're getting at, guys. These are diversities, right?
The world's a very diverse place, definitely.
Of course it is. And now, after that, we got this, all the C's. Are you familiar with all the C's?
No.
I'm going to go through them very fast for you, Arif. I want you to write them down with that pen. We've got a little bit of sabr going on here this morning with Arif Jetsi. He's looking after homeless charity. What's the name of your charity so the listeners are fully aware?
Help the Homeless Leicester.
Help the Homeless Leicester, right? So, of course, if you are going to become part of that charity, then do text me right away or WhatsApp me on 07748855055. You are listening to Z on the Rise and Shine show this morning on Ramadan Radio 87.7 FM. So if you want to call in and talk to Arif, or you need to talk to or give us, express your view about the homeless situation in the city, then do call in. Our number is 0116-482-2086. So we have a wonderful message there. Arif, I'd like you to read that one.
Zed, what's this brother Arif's contact details? I know a few people in need, who might need his help. So it's the phone line is 0116 4645 123 and press option 5. Or you can contact us via Facebook or Instagram. We're on LinkedIn as well, Twitter, so any of the social media platforms. Or alternatively, if you go onto our website, which is hthleicester.co.uk, and you can email us from there. So, yeah, any of those.
Okay, and here's a wonderful message, but it's disappeared. Put that message back on, please, so we can read that. This is a message for all of you listening in today. It's a Jummah Mubarak message. There is nothing much precious gift than dua to give someone. May Allah acknowledge all your duas in Jummah petition, in the Jummah petition, right? So, of course, dua is absolutely necessary, right? So you haven't seen somebody, you haven't had connection with them for a long time, but they are in your duas, Arif, all of the time, aren't they? All of the time, each salah you read, it just a flashback comes to you. They're in your dua, your mother, your father, anybody that you are very close to, was dear to you, that you loved, they're in your duas, right? And this is what we have to carry with us from the day we start learning our deen to the day we leave this dunya, right? So all of you, do get involved. We have to do this as a community support to each other, right? If Brother Arif is walked down the road and he's had the inspiration, he's had the guidance to stop to give some clothes out, to give some food out, and do all of those wonderful things. That was his journey. He started doing this work. What inspired you to do that, Arif? Why? What? Why? When? Where? How?
So first and foremost, it was watching a video on Facebook of a friend in Bolton who does something similar. That's where I'm from. You can probably tell my accent, but yeah, he's still going to this day, and it was watching him that kind of inspired me. But I do feel like it's a calling in life as well. I feel blessed that Allah's put this path in front of me.
This is what really makes me absolutely amazing. Anybody who's in the path of good is because Allah has guided you and chosen you, right? Because Allah knows that this is the person who can make it happen. So Arif, when I'm sitting here with you, I'm shaking because I'm feeling good, I'm feeling inspired. My positive memory cells are buzzing, right? You're instilling positive energy in me. And that's what we have to do to each other. When we're all doing good together, all of us are surrounded with positive energy, right? And what happens, brothers and sisters, all your negative energy is being dispelled out of your whole body. So anybody that you know who's in the path of doing good, reach out, support them, what we call put your hand in your pocket, right? And help them, support them, because not all of us are cut out to do what Arif is doing. So when we support somebody who's doing good, we support them with du'as, we support them with finances, we support them with our time. Time is a precious, precious, precious gift you can give anybody.
Definitely, 100%. That is, in this day and age, time is one of the things that people really struggle with, literally.
Yeah. Now, Arif, I don't know if you will recall, we are 3 years into COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, or the year before, please correct me, you were struck with COVID, yes?
Yeah, I've had it twice.
Twice. And I connected with you on the phone.
Okay.
And you were in bad shape.
First time around, definitely. Second time.
You were absolutely in bad shape, and I was praying for you. Right? That was the time when really so many people, anyone who caught COVID, you worried for them because you said, am I going to see him? He's going to go through the process now. Right now, share with me your process at that time. Now, I'm talking about period 2019, aren't I?
2020, I think.
2020, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I contracted it from, I can't remember where I contracted it from, but initially just the body pains and stuff is more severe than the flu. And the lower back pain and the body aching and the temperature and stuff. But it was a lot easier than, some people that suffered with it and had to be hospitalized and stuff. So, at that time, I got it quite late because prior to that, we were doing all the work with the food bank delivery, the fresh food we were delivering in conjunction with MLSS as well. So that all started from the first lockdown. And I got it like February, the year later.
Yeah. So it was scary, I must say, because I remember you and I were speaking on the phone, and you were absolutely in bad shape. You remember that?
Yeah, the first time around, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Second time was a lot easier.
And don't it feel so good that we're sitting here together now?
True.
And we are not on the Zoom. We are actually face to face. So you see the value of those connections, the human connections, when we are now sitting a meter apart, where before we had to sit 2 meters apart or not even sit together in the same room. So these are the values of humanity, aren't they?
100%. Definitely. People need people.
Yeah, that we all love each other for the sake of Allah. We support each other. And we do good because if you remember the great Muhammad Ali, on his gravestone, can you remember the words on it?
I can't.
Yeah? Now, if all of you can Google that, you'll see on his gravestone what he says, right? That something similar to what you do for others is your home in heaven.
Okay.
Right? You carry that with you. Your room in heaven is what you do for others here today. Okay. Right? So this is so important for all of us to understand that when we support anybody who is homeless, as we are using the word homeless, or somebody in dire straits, somebody in need, with utility situation as it is, with prices going up. The elderly are going to sleep at 5 p.m. because they can't afford to stay awake, right? Because the card, the electric card, which ran out on a Friday, is now running out on a Wednesday. And people don't have the top up to do for Thursday or Friday. They have to wait till Friday. So these are the conditions are prevalent in the society with people who are not homeless, right? So we are now coming to the area of poverty. How many people, what are the stats on poverty that creates the homeless situation? Yes? So we don't have the prevention routes, but we are focusing all on the cure. What you are doing is the cure route.
Yeah.
So we need to go back, find out what are the preventive measures. So we have poverty, which then leads to the social conditions being deprived, which then leads to all the addictions that come after that.
Addiction is a big contributor to homelessness,
Right.
whether that's alcohol, drugs, gambling.
Now, the stats across the country are frightening, absolutely frightening, where homelessness is on the increase, it's not on the decrease. Right now, you're going to run me through your period from 2014 to 2022 today. Go through the stats and tell me about them.
So initially, as I said, the main thing we used to do was just provide food, and that then clothing and food progressed to, like I said, putting people into B&Bs when it was snowing and stuff. And then from there, we progressed to finding suitable accommodation based on that individual's needs. And I think the face and the demographics of the people that we initially used to help was 25 and over, single white male initially. The under 25s get picked up by other charities and organizations. Females have support as well, but our general kind of service user that used to walk through the door was single white male back in 2018. That's now changed. Before the pandemic, we had a lot of refugees and stuff that were getting right to remain, and as soon as they got that stamp to say they're allowed to stay in the country, they had 2 weeks to get out of the accommodation the government used to provide. So then we saw an influx of that every 6 weeks to 8 weeks. We'd get 15 to 20 people that would come up with absolutely nothing, destitute, literally, and 2 weeks left to kind of leave the accommodation that was provided by the council, the government. So then we had to kind of maybe expand our network of landlords that used to provide us with accommodation. So that changed as well. And then you've got Eastern European refugees that have come in as well. Then you've still got the people that were born in the UK here as well that come to you, and it's constantly changing. It's a wide variety of people that we now see. And the thing is, there's a lot of good organizations and charities in Leicester that do the work, and together, definitely everybody makes the difference, because without everybody working together, we wouldn't be able to achieve the results we've got. Homelessness in Leicester isn't as bad as it is in some of the cities. Considering the size of the city, 350,000 people?
No, 358,570.
There you go. So it's not as bad as it could be because of the fact that I guess.
Yeah, somebody's just corrected me on that. They said it's almost 400,000 now.
Okay. So based on that, the fact that the local authority works with charities like us, other organizations as well, that is why the situation isn't as bad as it could be in some of the cities, definitely.
So the figures basically are on the increase.
Overall, in I guess as a country, yes, definitely. In Leicester, street homelessness is on the decrease from where it has been in the previous, I'd say, 8 years. It definitely, at the moment, if we had to do a street count at night, which the council do in conjunction with us and another charity, a couple of other charities, you can probably find anything up to maybe, 12 to 15, 17 people on the streets, of which you've got to understand 5 or 6 people will not take the help because they aren't interested in coming into any kind of accommodation. They are happy where they are, and that's their life. So Leicester itself is what I can speak for because we work here. It's been on the decrease compared to where it has been.
Arif, I'd like you to look to your right. Somebody just sent us a compliment there. So, wow, that has fired me up, Arif. Read that for us, please. Let the world know. Let's share.
Jazakallah, you're doing a great job bringing all these topics out on the radio. Allah bless you all. I've got a friend who's homeless and surfing on someone else's sofa for a long time now. He's on the home choice register bidding for properties, but it's taking a very long time. Do you think you can help with this situation, Brother Arif?
So possibly, but I can't just comment from just that text, but we need to see the whole scenario, the situation, obviously what benefits that person's on. So really we need an appointment with that person. So they'd have to make an appointment, contact us, come down and see one of the members of staff. We get the full background story. We'll do the checks, find out what's going on with regards to the bidding that they're doing, and then maybe go from there.
So it is a process, isn't it?
Oh, has to be a process. Without a process, then without the organization and stuff, it's the structure, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so we always going to keep looking at preventive measures, because if we do the prevention, we won't need to do the cure, would we?
True.
Right.
If only it was that easy, though. It's a minefield, honestly. It really is.
Yeah, so this is something really, really we need to bash our heads together with all the other organizations in Leicester. Now, to my top of my head right now, 5 organizations come to mind straight away who are working in the homeless sector.
Okay.
Right? 5 of them. And do you all sit together, have a coffee and talk to each other and share?
With some of them, yes, definitely. We have to, because like I said, with regards to the local authority, they work with them as well and we work with them. So it's kind of joint effort. There is a homelessness charter in Leicester that was set up about 2-3 years ago, which a lot of the organizations are part of that signed up to basically, making an effort to reduce people that are struggling and the homelessness situation in Leicester. But there's not much happened because of the pandemic, to be honest with you. But there is a homelessness charter in place in Leicester.
So there is a great value in all working together. That goes without saying. That includes all of you listening in right now, is to take part. You don't have to physically come and hold hand, but you can take part, like I said earlier on, by financially supporting or do a standing order or anything of the sort like that, and every little helps, isn't it?
100%. We've got people that literally donate 60p, 50p because that's all they have, but they still do it because they feel like they're making a difference. And like that together, as you said, every small donation makes a difference.
Yeah. We say here every year, together everyone achieves more success, right? And that is very good. See now what you've got on your shirt there is together we make a difference. I'm glad it's picking up. We've been for years saying that together everyone achieves more success. And this, throughout the Ramadan, we're emphasizing the importance of partnerships between all of us in the community. So each community, each organization, whether you're a faith group or you're a community center, to work together with other organizations across the city. We don't just stay in one area. We go across the city and we reach out to people who don't connect with us. No. So we don't want to become a tribalistic future generation, do we?
100%. And that's what we are at Help the Homeless. We're there for everybody. Our volunteers are a very diverse group of people as well. Obviously, myself, I'm Muslim. Other members of staff, I've got no religion, some are Hindu. Everyone just it's all about everyone getting together to make a difference and, breaking down removing the differences that you may have. But it's about, and everybody we help as well. We help anybody who turns up on our doorstep.
Well, shall I share a very interesting story with you, Arif?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are relaxing here, aren't we, today?
100%.
Getting to know each other even better than we knew each other last year and the year before. Yeah. And yesterday, 2 days ago, I was with one of our guests who's going to appear on the program, and he is he's not a believer. And we were discussing the A to Z of taxes.
Okay.
That what is letter A stand for? Which tax does that relate to? Of course, the first one, letter A, is alcohol. It's a tax you pay. And letter C is for cigarettes. So we've been giving a sabak to everybody here on all our listeners on Radio Ramadan, that you go through the alphabet and you give us all the letters that you know that are related to a tax, right? And keep people energized and keep them busy and keep the mind ticking, to move that mind from the KB to the MB, right?
Okay.
And so on. So here we goes. One guy, he contacted us and he said to me, the best of those letters is Z. So here's me thinking he's talking about me. And I'm smiling and I'm happy. And he said, well, the Z tax is the best tax that you can ever pay, which is Z stands for zakat.
Okay.
So I'm telling this story to this gentleman, and he's attentively listening. He's asking me more about zakat. What is the essence of it? I said, this zakat tax is to alleviate poverty, right? And he said, oh, that's very interesting. And he listened attentively. He asked questions. And he said to me, you know what? I'm launching a new product. I want to donate the 2.5% profit out of that product to an organic garden in one of the charities that we are working with in Africa to grow carrots, to grow cabbage, to grow good, wholesome food so that they don't have to live on staples for the rest of their lives. So when we reach out to people, we share our faith with them. Look what good comes out of it. You mentioned earlier on that there are people in your group who are of no faith. And if you show them faith by your actions,
Lead by example.
then you're going to get a result, aren't you?
100%.
So
Definitely.
I was so greatly inspired by that I felt that I needed to share this story with you, Arif, today.
Yeah. And that's something I've heard. I've heard before, definitely. You lead by example, and it definitely makes a difference because people see your actions, and it creates an interest.
So we have another message here. Do you only help people who are homeless, who are on benefits, or do you help people who are homeless who also work on self-employed?
So if they're on benefits, then it's, I guess, a lot easier to an extent to find accommodation for them. But if they're working, it becomes a lot more difficult. So technically speaking, if they're working, they need to find kind of their own accommodation, which isn't always easy because obviously the price of rent and stuff is really high. But there are schemes out there where we can assist with like deposits and that kind of stuff. But people, like I said, they would need to come in and see us, and we need the full story, the full history, and all the questions answered before we can make a decision of how we can help, if we can help.
Again, I must emphasize that everything goes through a process.
Definitely.
So you're going to find more and more people who are going to be in dire straits, and they're going to require food, and they're going to require support like that. So if you do know people, then share their details with Arif, or you can contact us here at the radio on 0116 482 2086, or you can text us or WhatsApp on 077 48 855 055, and we can signpost you to the right organization who are doing the appropriate work. So I think that in the future, certainly the near future, with this current situation, with utilities, with inflation, with all the things that are happening globally, there's a dire effect upon us here in the UK. So
we've already seen a difference. We've seen a difference in people's attitudes that come to us as well. Everyone is like, oh, whoa, I'm really upset. All the doom and gloom, it really does play an effect on the mental health. And the food bank usage has gone up in the last, I'd say, 3 months, 4 months as well.
Well, during the height of COVID, starting period 2019, and then we hit 2020, we ourselves, with the team's charity, were doing support work and providing food to all the organizations who were then giving food out. And there was then queues of people who never ever stood in a queue before. And do you feel that this is happening again?
Possibly. But I think the difference is people can actually go out now and collect food from people. So like I said, we've got a food bank at our place in town, and the usage has definitely increased. And that's just for basic items. You know, we only keep like tea, coffee, sugar, biscuits, pot noodle type snacks, tinned items. So it's not like there's any extravagant items there, but they can come in and they probably use us, maybe go to another food bank a couple of days later. That way they keep things going at the house. And that increase we've seen an increase literally, I say, more than what was being used in the last maybe 2-3 months. especially with all the doom and gloom and everyone. When the minute it starts being reported in the news that the cost of this is going up, the cost of that going up, people panic, unfortunately. And again, it just plays on people's minds. The mental health takes a hit, and just your mood in general. It's just everyone's on a downer, literally, and we see that.
So throughout this week, we have been following a theme, COVID-19 response and recovery. And when we say COVID-19, well, we forget that why did we call it 19? But actually, the COVID started in 2018, in the province of Wuhan in China. It was in period October 2018 when it really came to surface, but it did not come and hit us till 2019 in the UK, period March. So we are in 22 now, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was predicted that these cycles of COVID can take up to 5 years before they diminish.
Okay.
So just do a flashback, everybody, and look at the last 3 years. What happened? What happened? Think.
The whole world changes upside down, no traveling, and a lot of, like I said, people that weren't depending on handouts and maybe assistance before had to. So for example, with us, so when we used to have the market meals, and that stopped because of the pandemic and all the rules of the lockdown and stuff. So we then started delivering food parcels to people. A lot of financial help came in as well, and we were doing like bulk orders every week of £3,000-4,000 from cash and carries or from Aldi, that kind of stuff. A lot of volunteers came forward to deliver these food parcels as well. And that work in the pandemic, actually, I was lucky enough to get the title of Hero of Leicestershire for 2020 as well. So that was awarded to me by the Crime Commissioner of Leicester in 2020 as well. People that generally didn't need food and help before were stepping up, and there was a lot of assistance that was needed. A lot of the panic buying, that was an issue as well. So all stock running out in the supermarkets, baby milk, nappies, that kind of stuff. A lot of people used to ask us for that kind of stuff as well.
Well, you forgot toilet rolls.
Oh yeah, toilet rolls. Yeah, I remember that.
Now, that's what kept us in good spirits, because everybody was laughing about it. That the first thing that ran out was toilet rolls. Yeah. So here, could you read your brother Arif's contact details one more time, but can you say it slowly?
So the website is hthleicester.co.uk, or you can call us on 0116 46 45 123 and option 5, or the email details on the website as well. Again, social media, if you type in Help the Homeless Leicester, we come up on all the main platforms.
So anybody who misses out and catches up on the program later can always contact us here at the radio on 0116 482 2086. Today, you're listening to Zed on the Rise and Shine program this morning on Ramadan Radio 87.7 FM. And with me today is Arif Jedsi. He's from the Homeless Charity in Leicester. So if any of you know anybody and you want to help and support, this is what we call partnership. We have to join up, support those who are in the path of doing good. And Arif is one of those guys, and we always supported each other and brought awareness to the whole wider community. Now, Arif, I had a message on my phone here that what is the breakdown of people who are homeless? Who are they? Where are they from? Which ethnicity do they belong to?
It varies. There's, like I said, when we first started in 2018, I'd say the majority of people were white, 25 single male, 25 and over single males. But that changes depending on the situation in the city at the time. Like I said, you've got the whole when the refugees kind of get the right to remain, kind of stamped to say they can stay here. Then they've literally got 2 weeks to move out of the accommodation the government provides. Then you've got an influx of, Eastern European people as well. We see a lot of people from the Asian continent, India, Pakistan, that maybe have been here for a while, but their status hasn't been sorted yet, and they've hit dire straits. People that maybe the council have been accommodating through the pandemic that have to leave the property as well. So there's no fixed kind of one kind of person that comes to us. It is a wide variety.
So this is a clear answer for you. It's not to do with ethnicity. It could be anybody,
Literally.
right? Literally.
I mean, for example, we had, I say this story quite a lot. About 9 months ago, there was a chap in our office crying his eyes out. And he was white English, born here. And he, prior to that, about 9 months prior to that, he was living in a £350,000 house with a £45,000 car. And because of gambling, he was in that situation where he was at our table crying his eyes out. He'd lost his wife and children, had left him because of the debts that he ran up, literally. And the thing was, he goes, at one point, he was betting on things like games in football games and netball games in Brazil at 3 o'clock in the morning because of the addiction of gambling.
So this is it. An example here that Arif has displayed to you all that this person became a creature of habit, yes? Yeah. And a lot of us, throughout this month of Ramadan, we have the 3Ds. Are you familiar with the 3Ds?
No.
Yeah? So much I need to tell you, Arif. We need to catch up more often. You know, we don't see each other more often. We should connect more often. Of course, it is difficult because I'm in another country. So the 3Ds, reminder to all of you, is D. The first D stands for discipline. The second D stands for direction. And the third D stands for detoxification. Now, detoxification is your spirituality, your mental state, and also your physical state, right? So all these three are connected. And when you become a creature of habit, if it's a bad habit, you got to detoxify it. You got to try and get it out of your system. So that is all to do with prevention. So when we say the physical state, we're talking about the food that we eat. So what we eat is what we are, right? Now we have the luxury in this country, in the West, to choose what we eat. Now take it back over to the third world where I've been working last 3 months, right? Where there's no choice. There's only one choice. It's that staple that you eat morning, afternoon, and night, and you go to sleep with that, right? So we are living in a wonderful world. We have options and we have choices. Yes? People are coming to you for support, some help, and you're giving them choices and you're giving them options that have been given to you to offer to them. Part of your process is to run through those options and run through those choices. But go to the other side. I would like to take you with me for you to experience what goes on the other side. Now, all of you listening in right now, we are taking 4 persons, young persons who aspire to become politicians or aspire to work in the community to Uganda as part of the Once Upon a Time 50 years ago initiative, where they can also go and engage with the people that I'm talking about so that they can find out what it's like on the other side, to know what they have to do here in England. And if we don't appreciate our blessings, we only can appreciate them when we see the other side. So if you know anybody who's young, who will benefit from this, we've already got 2 candidates and we're looking for 2 more. Doesn't matter if they're blue, red, yellow, or green. You familiar with that? Blue is Conservative, red is Labour, yellow is Lib Dems, and Green Party. Mm-hmm. So if they're from the political sphere and they aspire to be future politicians, great experience for them to go to the other side of the world and have a look how they are living over there. So if you know anybody, then please do connect with us and we can then add them on the list. And of course, we shall be looking for some sponsorship to sponsor that initiative, to take them over. There's airfares, there's hotels, there's local travel, and they'll have some experience that they'll never have had before. Arif, have a little think about that and see if you can come forward with a suitable person that can join that initiative. And we can be better for it when we come back. Cool. So this is the initiative, what we call partnerships, right? Where we're not only looking for partnerships with our local council, with our local businesses. Now, we're going to come to discussing that. Before I've spoken to you and you told me some wonderful stories where some local businesses have gotten involved with you and supported you because they believe in what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we've got, luckily, a lot of support from local businesses. A lot of them obviously have a corporate social responsibility to kind of give back in the community where they're making their profits and their money. And what it is, because we've got such a good social media presence as well, they get to see the work that we do. And that's why, unfortunately, I mean, I know we believe that, you know, when we do good with the right hand, the left hand shouldn't know. But in this day and age, that to kind of progress the work that you're doing and create the awareness, social media is very important. Obviously, depending on what it is that you actually do as a charity. I mean, some charities, for example, maybe working with children, wouldn't be able to show the impact that they're making as easily as it is for us with adults, because of obviously the whole what's it called? It's slipped my mind. Obviously, you can't show children on camera and that kind of stuff without permission. What's it called? The word? It slipped my mind.
The DBS?
Yeah, not just that. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say, basically. But so depending on what it is you do as a charity, it's sometimes a lot easier to kind of highlight the work that you're doing, and for us, that's quite good. So the businesses see the benefit of that. Also, the ones that kind of like back us as well, they can get their name out there. They can obviously show that the difference that they're making, or they're enabling us to make by supporting us financially, or even with donating goods to us. We do get a lot of support. Like yesterday, we got a massive donation for of tuna and sweet corn for our food bank as well, and that again saves us buying it. Basically, you know, if people are donating that, then it helps us massively.
Of course. Now, this is an initiative which I would like to promote. I'd like all of you businesses listening in right now to tie yourself up with one of the local homeless charities. Now, I urge all the businesses that don't just support one group who are doing good. Select 5 and select all 5 of them. Give a little to all 5 of them and support them all. And often you will say, no, we're only supporting this group. Often I've approached businesses and they turn around and says, we already support this group. And it's a bit of a get out clause, which really, in reality, I said to them, look, if you've got £100 or you've got £100,000, you split it into 5 sectors and you support a sector 1, sector 2, different people in different sectors. And that way, we will have a great community development. Yeah. And these are the partnerships that I'm looking to develop this year. Every year we have aims and objectives here at the radio. And this year we have quite a few aims and objectives, and one of them is to develop partnerships with the community, with our local council, with our national government, to build on those partnerships. And our mayor, he loves that. The mayor, Sir Peter Soulsby, he likes the essence of partnerships with the commercial sector and with the public sectors and with the faith organizations. You understand the value of the partnerships, don't you? More than anybody.
Definitely. It's like, as I said to you, if you're just trying to do something on your own as an organization or even as an individual, it's going to make life a lot harder. But when you've got that support from people that are in the same field, it definitely makes a big difference. You've got their knowledge as well sometimes, or something that another organization or a person can kind of provide you can't do, but together, you know, you can rely on them and they can rely on you, and vice versa. So partnerships are massive. Sometimes you do have to do due diligence, make sure that, you know, the charity or the organization is kind of, they're doing what they say they're doing. And I think there's that many different charitable causes out there that if you can't find something that aligns with your ethos and your thought process kind of thing, then, you know, you need help kind of thing. There's just, you know, so many different kind of charities out there. You know, you got cancer, you got child poverty, adult poverty, food banks, bereavement. The list is endless. So there's definitely a cause that you can kind of align with out there, definitely.
So that is absolutely clear now. Everybody understands. If you have any support that you want to give to any of the charities or any of the groups in Leicester, in the homeless sector, or any other sector that is the essence of community development, then you can contact us here on the radio on 0116 482 2086, or you can WhatsApp us, text us on 077 48 855 055. So we have got a message here on my phone to say that one of my day's takings for my shop, I would like to help give that money towards, he hasn't said towards what, but he's said to some good causes.
Oh, that's brilliant, mashallah.
So this is the essence of a program when we do, that we reach out to even that one person, he's there to make a difference, isn't it?
And it does make a difference. And not just to the people that are getting the help, to that person as well, inshallah, the barakah he'll get as well. It'll make a difference, 100%.
So imagine if we take this mantra, local, national, global, and we are doing a project, we can deliver that project, can't we?
Yeah, definitely. It's not easy, but I think with anything successful like that, you need hard work and effort. And luckily, like for us, the hard work was put in from 2014 to 2017, 2018, although foundations have kind of been laid for us to now springboard into what we have now as a charity. It's crazy.
That is absolutely, it goes without saying. Now, look, we've been chatting for almost an hour, and time flies, doesn't it?
Wow.
Absolutely, time flies. So all of you listening in right now, I hope that you have also taken heed of everything we've discussed, and you've shared our positive energy that we would like to show to all of you, that we are going to work together as a team, and we're going to help charities like Help the Homeless in Leicester, and also other charities that are doing similar work, that we engage with them and we help make a difference. Now, be mad, make a difference. You will benefit from that. And like earlier on, what did Muhammad Ali say? Right?
On his gravestone.
On his gravestone.
Yeah.
So our producer will put that gravestone on the screen, and he will show us, right, what he said. That our home for the akhirah is
our deeds in this world.
Our deeds in this world, yeah. And what do you think about that?
It's true. It definitely is. If you're a person of faith and you believe in the hereafter, then definitely rings true 100%. And then obviously people that aren't maybe believing things like good karma coming back to them, that kind of stuff. So I guess it all kind of is interrelated to an extent. So
yeah, so please, all of us, get involved. Let's do some good, and let's deliver some fantastic initiatives together, collectively. And when we work together, it's a great benefit, isn't it?
Definitely. Talking about partnerships and sponsorships and stuff, I don't know if you've heard about our bicycle charity ride that we're doing.
No, I only know about the Riders of Sham.
So the Riders of Sham one's in July, so we've got our own Help the Homeless one from Leicester to Amsterdam in June. So that's on June the 9th. We're going to cycle from here to Amsterdam within 72 hours. The sponsorships we've got on our tops, we've got over 26 companies. Well, we've got 26 companies that have sponsored us for our cycling tops. So we're going to have all their logos on the back, on the sleeves, on the front. So that just shows the reach that we now have as a charity, that people want to sponsor our ride, which is amazing. We've also got a fun day in Victoria Park on the 22nd of May as well, on a Sunday. And hopefully the weather's good. It's just going to be loads of like rides and food and that kind of stuff. And all the money raised is going to go towards the cycle ride that we've got in June. And the target we've got is to raise £50,000. And talking about partnerships, what we're going to do is from the money we raise, we're going to donate 20% of that to Crohn's and Colitis UK.
Great. Now, how about that you and I, after the show, we link up and we arrange more partnerships for you?
Inshallah, definitely.
Will that be good?
Yeah, definitely.
Great. I feel good already about it. I feel as though I've done something good already. Mashallah. So that's what it's all about. You engage, you promote, and you lend a hand. You know, lend a hand is a theme, isn't it?
Definitely.
That we should all follow. And that is fantastic. So if any of you want to contribute or sponsor the cycle ride to Amsterdam, then you will be helping the homeless in Leicester. And of course, the partnerships, as I said, extend to organization everywhere else. Somebody just corrected me about that Muhammad Ali stone. It's more saying that the good you do is going to put it on the screen exactly, so we can read it exactly for what it is, rather than do a little bit of a interpretation on it. Is the rent we pay. If you put it on the screen, there you are. Service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah?
It's beautiful.
You read that.
Service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven.
Isn't that fantastic?
That's very deep.
Now, I remember 2016 it was when he passed away. And look at the messages left behind for us. Yeah, the service to others is the rent you pay for your room in heaven, right? And this is exactly how in the month of Ramadan we should always remember that what we are talking about today, Arif, is service to others, isn't it?
Definitely, 100%.
So I make du'as for all of us and also all the people who are doing good, who are service to others, and I hope that all of us can work together and make a difference. Jazakallah khair from me, and Arif will say some last words before we close for today, and we look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Some wonderful programs tomorrow.
So basically this is the month of Ramadan. Just take advantage, donate what you can, and it doesn't have to be to us. It could be to any causes. There's so many causes around the world, in the UK as well. And yeah, just be a charitable person. As the headstone on Muhammad Ali's grave says, literally, if you're a person of faith and you believe in the hereafter, then make your akira.
A great program tomorrow. Who is Alex?